Alright, this is attempt number 2. First attempt didn't go very well, but I did cover a lot of how you should fly a plane like this, what you should do when you're in circumstances where you're being chased by the enemy, and just don't know, how do I fight this, how do I get out of this. So there will be less commentary in this one, but I will... Firstly, I just need to focus on the fight more and less explaining, because splitting my brain to handling 2 tasks is just an immediate shutdown moment for me. So, apologies if there's less helpful commentary here, but I will hopefully speak more through actions than words this time around. So, like I said, I'll just be climbing at around 170 to 200 miles an hour. I will actually pitch up a little bit more to convert more of that speed into altitude. P-51 has a 16 meters per second climb rate, so I can afford to lose a bit more speed and turn that into a bit of a higher angle. Just gonna check on the size of that first file. Okay, yeah, I will have to shrink that for my first one, so expect that soon. In fact, expect to see that before you see this, actually. So, anyway, back to this. Back to the studio. The studio being the cockpit of a P-51C. Actually, this is famously one of the red tails. If you look, modeled in the cockpit is one of the Tuskegee airmen that made these planes famous. You can see there's the only black player model in the game is in this particular P-51 that I have. It's not just my P-51. Like all P-51Cs have that player model and this skin from the red tails. So that's really cool. Back to hopefully doing a better job than I did the first time, capturing what you should do, and hopefully I will snag a kill this time. Yeah, nothing new said there. P-51 does have very good climb rate, especially once you get up to altitude. It's still not as good as some of the BF-109s. Oh, that's unfortunate for this matchup. The Nazis are on our team. That's unfortunately kind of indicative of what the Cold War was like, where, ignoring that the British and Japanese never would have sided with the USSR, but yeah, we've got a bit of a Cold War matchup here with World War II planes. So, Soviets are easier to fight than the Nazis, if I might just say. They have very similar problems like the 109, where they can't keep speed very well, and they really can't dive. I'm not kidding that many Yaks, the wings are literally made out of plywood, so they cannot hold themselves together in a dive for very long or very fast. They also do not have very good altitude performance. Spitfire, he has the same engine I do. He will be a bit more of a problem, but kind of the same. You will kind of have the same situation there, where it's a very it's very maneuverable plane. It has very turbulent aerodynamics. It can turn on a dime, react very quickly to a fight, jump in like a bulldog, and just punish you if you try to follow into that fight. Just gonna snag an easy kill right here. Another easy kill. Oh, yep, there's another fire. By the way, you should not be doing these moves. These are just literally, this is not for demonstration. I am just being a cocky prick right now. If you're a smart player, you will not do what I just did there. Just pitch up to a much more maneuverable plane. There's a Kai-61. It's basically Japanese airframe with a German engine, which is, I guess, the closest thing to a 109 I'll face in this match. Here, same principle. The Spitfire's following me, but I will outrun him over time. So he's trying to bait me into his comfort zone, which is turning. And nope, I'm out. Spitfire is still chasing me. The guy in chat has just told me, but don't worry, faster, so I'm well aware. Shallow diving, dragging him out. With my more powerful engine, my smoother airframe, you can do very gentle movements. Just gonna make sure. I have separate controls for controlling my tail, and so I can kind of cheat by looking backwards. He's holding the C key, but also controlling my elevator. Again, same principle against any plane that's slower and more maneuverable. Drag him out. Just drag him out. See how much distance and speed I'm taking on him. And then he gives up. I pitch back up. I turn all my speed into energy.
Destroy the target.
And I go back. I have the altitude, I have the speed advantage, I have the energy advantage. Boom. Unfortunately, that F4F is probably going to eat shit because I get pwned. But now I'm in the advantage because I wore out his patience. I dragged him into that dick measuring contest of speed. One that the P-51 will win against basically every aircraft it faces. Because again, it's just got a godly engine. I'll see if I can save this wildcat and shut up now. Oh, he's dead. But I can hopefully avenge him. And there goes the Spitfire. Not spitting fire, he's just on fire now. Anyway, unfortunately you couldn't illustrate a good reversal, specifically, but yeah, hopefully between this and the previous video you will have got an idea of how best to use one of these things. Oh, and there that is. Match over.